Everybody. Um, I am Sal Vazquez. I'm going to be your instructor virtually, your instructor this semester. And I wanted to post a quick video to kind of give you guys an idea of what it's going to be like taking this course online. So I am in Canvas, and this should be what you guys see when you click on the syllabus in Canvas. If you just go into Canvas and you click on your little square that says Chem 20, I'm sorry, excuse me, it should take you to this page, to your home page. And on the home page, it is the modules page, and I've got a week, a module for each week. And so you'll see here, if you scroll down a little bit, I'll close these tabs so you can kind of get a big picture. We'll go over the first week's module since I'm actually done making that one. The others will fill in as I finish putting them together. So you've got right at the beginning an assignment that I need you to do either right now or sometime before our official first meeting would have ended. So if you were really taking this class, you would have to be in lecture. Actually, you'd have to be in lab at 9 a.m. for some of you, or you'd have to be in lab at what is it, like 2 o'clock for the rest of you, or for others. But everybody would be meeting in lecture from the same amount of time. And so I think it's between 11:30-ish and 2 o'clock where we would all be sitting down. That's the cutoff time right there, 2 o'clock. If you have not done this assignment by 2 o'clock, I'm going to take it to mean that you would have been absent anyways in our class, and I'm going to drop you. So since there's no real way for me to take roll, I mean, I guess I could do a Zoom meeting, but I guess I could back all the way up. Zoom meetings are going to be a little hard for me at our class time because of the whole quarantine situation, right? I'm at home, but I'm at home with my two little toddlers. And so it's going to be difficult for me to do live videos or Zoom meetings, when I'm having to deal with them. I do get a break while they're sleeping from 12 to 3, and that's when I'm going to be using this time to record lecture videos and to be posting material for you guys or responding to your guys' questions. And so in lieu of meeting at a specific time each week, we are going to I'm going to create lecture videos and post them, give you guys the link, and they'll be here in Canvas, and then you guys can watch them, and you can watch the videos over and over. You can pause them. It's me telling you what I would be telling you in class. I'm going to be using my whiteboard. You can see me do examples. The only difference is you're not going to be able to ask questions in real time, but I do encourage you guys to utilize the discussion board. And actually, I just realized right now that I didn't include a discussion board. So I'm going to make a discussion board for us. This is where you guys can ask questions. This is where you guys can ask questions of me or of each other. Let's just call it general discussion board. I can spell. Oh no. All right, general discussion board. Ask your questions here. Let's see. Allow you guys to see each other's questions and reply to each other's questions. This isn't graded. Okay. So before an exam, maybe you guys can post some questions, and if there's enough questions, I can make a little video with those responses, with those answers. I'll stick this discussion board right here on your home page. And don't hesitate to start using it. Bring it all the way up here. All right. So you can kind of see how Canvas is going to be set up. It's going to be where I put everything that you guys need. But before we get into that, I do want to take a little time and go over the syllabus. Let's go over the syllabus. Now the syllabus is great for a few reasons. It's got all the information that I want to convey to you guys. It also has a lot of the answers to the questions that you might be thinking or wanting to ask. So if you ask me a question that the answer's in the syllabus, I'm going to say, read the syllabus. So you should just read the syllabus first before you ask me the question that you want to ask me regarding the way the class is going to work. Now, obviously, the syllabus doesn't have the answers to any of our problems or doesn't have anything about, substance that we're going to be learning. So I mean questions about the technical nature of the class. The other good thing about the syllabus is that if you go all the way down to the bottom, to the course summary, there's a day-by-day a sort of guide to what is going to be due. And you can see here most things are going to be due by midnight. It does look like there is a lot going on here, but I'll come back and talk about some of these aspects a little later. All that's on here right now really are the exams and the quizzes. There are some homework due dates. We'll talk about the homework in a minute. Exams and quizzes, lecture exams, lab exams, excuse me. And then I have started to put in some of our lab experiments. And so for the week 1 and week 2 modules, you will see there are some lab experiments that are also put in there. Okay, and then the first assignment for the first day is going to be a math review and a way of, keeping track of who wants to actually be in this class. Okay, so the information about what you'll need is here. You got to have internet. You got to be able to access Canvas. And our exams are going to be using a online or proctoring service, meaning we're going to use the webcam and the microphone function on your computer or the computer that you're going to be using, because this is a requirement. This is the only way that we can make sure that the person who's taking the tests is the person who's supposed to be taking the tests. I believe you can contact COS library and ask about webcams if you don't have them. They are making those available. You need to, let's see, I was thinking of the technical things that you need, but we'll get to the physical things that you need in a second. Okay, course date starts on June 15th. Of course, it's online. We're not meeting anywhere. Canvas is going to be where we have our discussion board, where I post videos, where you guys will get assignment feedback and solutions to the labs, where I'll make announcements, and of course, you can also contact me through the Canvas messenger function. Okay, I encourage you to read all this. I'm not going to sit here and read this with you. What you need as far as a textbook, you need the 6th edition. Well, this is what I'm using. I'm using the 6th edition of the introductory Tro book. You can use any edition you find online. You can find a book from 1980 and use that. Chemistry has not changed very much. The images and the more modern stuff may have been updated. Biology books change all the time. Every year they have to, add all the new stuff they've learned. Chemistry is not like that. So a chemistry book in general is going to be perfectly fine. Now, if you want to be able to follow along with things like when I say chapter 12, you can go to your chapter 12 and have that match. Then the 5th edition and the 6th edition are the best. 5th edition, I know that you can find PDF versions online for free if you dig around. The 6th edition is what I'm using. The 6th edition, if you buy it through the bookstore, should come paired with Mastering Chemistry, the access code for Mastering Chemistry. Mastering Chemistry is the homework software that we're going to be using, the homework service. And then you do need, I'll talk more about that in a second, the homework service. You can also buy access to that separately just through the Mastering Chemistry website. So if you have an old book or if you don't want to go buy a new book that comes with the service, you can get the service a la carte, as they say. You can even go to that service, Mastering Chemistry, and get an ebook and get an access code along with an ebook if you don't want a physical book. So you have options. We do need the Chem 20 course packet. This is the lab manual. This I don't think you can find online. There are PDFs that exist, but I don't know if those are something that I can pass out to you guys. We'll talk about labs in a second. Mastering chemistry, that's the homework software. Lab supplies, that's hilarious. So you don't need goggles, you don't need lab coats. We're not going to be meeting to do labs. It's the way that the district is asking us to organize this is we would only be able to have 10 students at a time anyways in the lab. That there's too many students to pick and choose which ones get to do that. Okay, you can read about the learning outcomes. You can read about the chapters we're going to go over. Now, as far as lecture attendance goes, I have designed my PowerPoints to basically be worthless without you guys hearing my voice. So there's not a lot of text on my PowerPoints. Now, all of what I'm going to show you comes from the book. So you can read the book, which is part of what you are supposed to do. You're supposed to read the book. There's no way that I could sit there and give you guys, you know, what would we would have had 24 days of summer school. Even if you listened to me for an hour and a half for 24 days, you would not have gotten everything you need to know from chemistry. You need to read the book. I'm there to help emphasize certain materials, to give you examples, to show you tricks, um, to reinterpret what you read in a different way so that your mind can remember it better. But reading the book, that's where the information is, and I'm teaching from the book. I'm giving you exams from the book. You should be reading the book. So my PowerPoints don't have words on them. The words are in the book. Now, if you want to be able to follow along with the PowerPoints, you need to watch the videos. And the videos I'm going to post will have all the information that I'm emphasizing for the exams. Now, there is no lecture attendance in that sense. You don't have to show up at any time or check in at any time, but it is your responsibility to drop the class if you fall behind and to keep up with the material because we are moving fast and your grade depends on your work ethic. Okay, quizzes. There's going to be 12 lecture quizzes this semester. I'll show you what a quiz looks like when we get, well, I'm not going to show you a quiz. Never mind. I'm not going to show you any quizzes, but they are not hard. They are designed to be taken in an hour. They're usually between 2 and 5, maybe 2 and 7 questions long. They will be material that you'll see on the upcoming exam. Okay. I think I also have it where if you get a lecture and a quiz in the same day, the quiz does not have that day's lecture material on it. Okay, so it's stuff that you should have already gone over in previous days' material. Now exams, we're going to have 4 exams. And again, all of these are listed. You can see all of those here. Exam 3, for example, Friday, July 17th. I need to change the date on that Mastering Chemistry. That's the last day of, Thursday's the last day of our class. So technically the last day to do your homework is the 24th, but I'll move that to be the 23rd. The last day of our class is July 23rd, and we have our 4th exam on that. Now, I am trying to be reasonable with you guys and give you some flexibility. So what I've done is I've put exams on Fridays, and I've given you all day long to work on it. That's not true. All day long to pick a time to start it, and you'll have 2.5 hours to work on it. 150 minutes to do the exam. You can start it whenever you want. You can start it early if you want. If you want to start it before Friday, let me know, and I'll make that possible for you. But you will have all day on Friday to work on the exam, since normally we would have Monday through Thursday just in class. This allows you to have more time on Monday through Thursday to do things like taking the quizzes, to completing the homework, to be doing the labs, right? I could shove the exam onto a Thursday if you don't like your Friday being taken up by something. If you wanted to have your free Friday, you know, I can give you back your free Friday. Just send me a message and I'll make sure that that exam is on a Thursday for you. But I'm trying to help you guys out by spreading your material out and using a day that normally we wouldn't be using. Now again, you would just have to take an exam on that day, but this is the alternative is you're going to have to take it on one of the other 4 days where you already have stuff due and there's already other things that you're working on. So think about that. Okay, exams. I mentioned that we're using Proctorio. So this is going to require you to hold up your ID to, kind of confirm that that's you. It's going to look for things like, is there any other head sitting there, in the screenshot, helping you. You're supposed to be taking these tests alone. Other than that, I'm kind of limiting its activities. You guys are welcome to use your open notes. I expect that you're going to use your open notes and your open text and that kind of stuff. I can't really, I mean, I can make Proctorio's settings really hard where like if your eyes look away from the screen for too long, it's going to flag it and I can, I get alerted to that kind of stuff. There's no real person watching you, it's software, but it is very sensitive to that kind of stuff. Microphone as well, it's going to listen to see if people are whispering to you, and telling you how to do things. But I am going easy on these settings because I do know that a fast-paced chemistry course is hard, and I would have normally have allowed open note, not open note, but an open cheat sheet anyways on my exam over the summer. So this is the same. I'm not worried that you're gonna like try to Google the questions that I'm asking you and just look up the answer. I mean, you're welcome to do that. The software Proctorio shows me all of your web activity, and it can even show me a screenshot of your computer and what you're doing during the test. So, Google all the questions if you want. I will see that you've done that. Again, I'm not trying to scare you guys, but you should, if you're not a cheater, none of this should bother you. You're going to take your test like normal. You're going to show, you're going to really assess what you've learned. And for those of you that need this class, I'm sure you want to come out of it having learned something. Okay, mastering chemistry. This is where we're going to do our homework. Let me come back to that. Your grade distribution is like this: 4 exams, about 60%. Everything else is going to be 10%. The quizzes that you guys take, the lab activities that you do, the homework that you complete, and the lab exams that you take are worth, all collectively, there's 3 of them, 10%. We do the pluses and minuses at COS. Lab exams and lab work. You guys are going to be submitting your lab homework or your lab work for credit. And then I will post the solutions. It's your job to go through and check your work to make sure that you are getting the concepts and that you're doing those questions right. With the online nature of and the rapid pace that we're doing, and the fact that I'm stuck at home with my kids, it's hard for me to give you guys really good feedback individually on all of your right and wrong answers. So you guys are going to do your best. You're going to turn it in. It needs to be these things, the acceptable level. You need to have all your work shown, and you can't just, it has to be legible. It can't just be you turning in a piece of paper. And if you do that, I will give you credit and I'll post the key, and then you can look at that and go, oh, I got this number right, or I'm doing this wrong. I need to ask how to do this properly. As far as accommodations go, I do think that there's going to be some subtitles on my lecture videos. I don't know how good the auto subtitle generator is on YouTube, but if need be, I may have to upload my own subtitles. And then the schedule. Okay, so let's go back to the modules and let me show you what a typical week will look like for you. Okay, so first thing that you guys need to do, I mentioned, is you got to submit a I don't want to be dropped assignment. So this is the first assignment of the week. Needs to be done by that Monday. You're going to go in here. This is a prequel to what you're going to do for your lab assignments and your lab exams also. Your lab exams are going to be a little different. I will grade those individually, every question, and give you feedback on it. But you're going to download the document or get it on your electronic device. You're going to fill it out, and then you're going to upload a copy of that. If it's a paper thing, then you're going to have to scan it and upload a copy. So you're going to come in here and do, I don't want to be dropped. You're going to submit an assignment. You don't actually have to write anything on this piece of paper. You just need to submit something. Don't submit anything other than a blank document file or a PDF. I don't want movie images, I don't want pictures, I don't want any random stuff. Just a regular document file, please. This will show me that you're participating and that you are interested in being in the class. And me seeing that you've completed this assignment means I won't drop you. So please do that. You'll want to hit submit and not just go away from the website. Okay. I've got some virtual lab skills here. These are some videos that you can watch. If you were disappointed that we're not going to get to do lab, as I'm disappointed that we're not going to get to do lab this semester, you might want to watch these. These are really cool. This is the glassware that you would have had in your locker. This is how to read graduated cylinder. You should know this stuff because we make references to many of these pieces of glassware and they're talked about a lot in the lab reading, and so you don't want to ignore that stuff. I've included a virtual model kit for you guys here. This is really neat. You can build some models. So this is a methane. I don't know if it tells you that anywhere. But once we start playing around, you're going to get to see that you know, these letters stand for different atoms. This black atom here is, I just added another carbon. This black atom is a carbon. These white atoms are hydrogens. I made some kind of weird molecule here that has too many bonds. But anyways, you can grab these things, you can play with them. There's, you can calculate their masses. This is the mass right here. You can add double bonds and single bonds. There we go. How do I rotate this guy? I haven't played with this very much. I found it and I thought this is really, really cool. So this is ethene. Yeah, ethene. C2H4. Sometimes known as well, it's not acetylene. Ethine. I got to show you acetylene. This is acetylene called ethine. Anyways, this is an organic chemistry, so we're not going to worry about this. But we do have a modeling lab, and I really recommend playing around with that virtual model kit if you do not have your own model kit. So yeah, the modeling lab I think is in, maybe it's a week 4 thing. Okay. Let's look over week 1 and just show you how I have this set up for you. So I have headings for each day of the week so that you know what the objective is that day. So on Monday, I guess I could have put this, I don't want to be dropped assignment there, but I really want you guys to do that first. So on Monday, the objective is going to be to do this math review. So you're going to click on the math review, and it should tell you what you need to do. Basically, this math review is practice to see if you guys are up to the math that you're going to have this summer. And so then you could, you'd click on the download. I think I can open it in another. No, this is going to make me open it. So it's just a math review here. I want you guys to practice writing scientific notation into whole numbers, or what is the value of these fractions with these, different operations. And here's a little bit of percents. What do you know about percents? And here's a little bit of rearranging. Can you solve this for m? M equals what? Rearrange this equation. This is the kind of stuff we do in chemistry. This is not a math class, so I'm not going to teach you guys how to do all this stuff. You should know how to do all this stuff. If it's been a long time, you need to do a little more work, right? You need to start looking at this stuff now and not waiting until it's too late. And then some word problems. We do a lot of word problems in this class. So that's the math review, and I want you guys to download that, to complete it, to submit it, and then I will post the answer key, and you guys can see how well you did, and that one's going to be worth some points. All of these assignments are worth points. They go towards your grade. I'm going to post the lecture video for Chapter 1. And then, so that link will just be replaced. It'll just be the Chapter 1 lecture video. And you can follow along with that Chapter 1 lecture video by looking at the Chapter 1 lecture slides. Now you can download those. You can follow along in browser. You can see my slides here don't have a whole lot going on, but during the lecture video, I'm filling in all of this area with things that I'm saying, with words I'm writing down, with examples. So that's how this class is going to essentially feel like it would have in the real semester. These are the exact same PowerPoints you would have gotten from me if we were meeting in person. So that aspect of this has not changed. That's Monday. What else is due on Monday? Their homework for Chapter 1. If you click on the homework for Chapter 1, this one gives you the information that's also in the syllabus. The syllabus has the same information of how to get into the Mastering Chemistry course. Now, the Mastering Chemistry course has a course ID. This is the code that you'll use once you've purchased access. That'll link you then to my course. Now, the homeworks that are here on the modules, these homeworks, these are placeholders, okay? The homework that you're going to do is going to be in the Mastering Chemistry website, and all the grading for that takes place in that website. Now, I will, at the end of this 6-week period, go into your grades, and let's see, I will go all the way down to the Mastering Chemistry, and I will enter how many points out of the 279 you earned. Let's just jump into Mastering Chemistry and talk about that real quick. So there's 279 assigned points in Mastering Chemistry for our 6 weeks. You can see here a calendar. This is the June-July calendar. Last day of class on the 23rd. First day of class over here on the 15th. So I've allowed for some time. Here's how it'll work. In order for you guys to stay on top of the homework, I have made them due at the end of each week. So at the end of this first week, starting on Monday the 15th all the way to Saturday the 20th, you have chapters 1 through 4 due. That's when they're due. Now, if we go back into Canvas, you'll see that if we go to week 1, it says chapter 1 homework on Monday. Well, that's just because we're doing chapter 1 on Monday, and I want you guys to be doing the homework when it's fresh in your mind. So the next day when we do chapter 2, I'm going to assign chapter 2 homework. But notice the due date, June 20th. June 20th. So you have all week. Here's the other benefit. We have an exam that first week. It's on chapters 1 through 3. If you did chapter 3 homework before Friday, then you're going to be that much more prepared for that exam. So these homeworks are laid out to be doable and completable before the exam that you're going to be taking. For some reason, this one shows that it's unavailable. Let me make it available. Okay, so let me go back to that calendar view. So there are two kinds of assignments here. There are the assignments in blue. These are the ones referenced in Canvas. I guess this will eventually happen. So homework 4, homework 3, right? All of those. These are the ones in blue here. Chapter 1 homework, chapter 2 homework, chapter 3 homework, and so on. Now these in orange are not part of your 267 points. These are dynamic study modules. So if you need more practice, these are for you. If you click on one of these, now these don't have due dates. Now they do have due dates in the sense that I have to stick them on the calendar. If I stick all of these to be due on the Saturday, then it just makes the block for this Saturday really, really large. They're not really technically due on that Saturday either, because if you wanted to wait and do all of these, on July 1st, you could. These are always available to students, whereas these blue ones stop being worth any points, and I need to see if you can even still access them. I don't know why you'd want to go back and do those problems after they're not worth anything, but if you wanted to practice, you would just come back and do these orange ones. Let me show you how one of these works. They're kind of like smart flashcards. So you come in here, it's going to show you a question, and you get to answer it either with confidence or without confidence. And the way that you show confidence is by clicking it twice. So I'll show you. So this says a chemical reaction occurs when a chemical substance or the reactant is converted into a new substance or the product. which of these is a double displacement reaction? And so since I happen to know that this one here is a double displacement reaction, I can click it once and hit submit, and it'll be right, but it'll know that I'm unsure, and so to make sure that I'm comfortable with this question, it'll show it to me again down the road. But if I am sure, I can click it twice, and if I'm right, it'll treat it like I know this, and it won't show it to me again. And the whole point is that I need to complete this bar with these. I think there's maybe 20 questions in here, and if I get a question wrong or if I'm unsure about it, it'll bring it around and show it to me again until I'm confident. And so in that way, it kind of helps you learn it. So it's a really good practice. So those I've assigned, and I've put all the different modules that might be helpful to you in the week leading up to the exam that will have those types of problems in it. So you'll see here that on Friday the 26th, I've got a whole bunch of nomenclature dynamic study modules. Well, the exam, this must also be chapter 5. So chapter 5 is all about naming. So these are dynamic study modules on naming. And then the next exam we have will have the naming on it. So that'll be, beneficial to you. So again, you guys need to be on top of doing your own homework. I will enter the scores at the end of the semester. This particular homework right here, chapter 1, only has 3 problems. Show you another example. It says it takes about 6 minutes. So they're not all really long problems. Let me show you something that might be, though. Probably chapter 8 when we start getting to stoichiometry. Oops. Doesn't have to be chapter 8. Let me just pick one. Chapter 7. Good enough. This one has 16 problems. So it says it takes 204 minutes. I don't know how true that is. It depends on how fast you move through the homework and how many sub-questions. Sometimes these have little descriptions. Yeah, this one allows for the balancing. Balancing is usually tough for students. Okay, so that's the homework. Now, the other thing that you're going to be doing in addition to submitting homework, doing homework and taking quizzes and doing exams is that you're going to be participating in lab. So let's look at our first lab. So Monday, there's no lab. Tuesday, we have our first lab. Our first lab is going to be on measurements. This one actually doesn't have a video associated with it. This one, I've uploaded sample data, and that's how this will work. So it's your job to read the lab, to go over and read all the little instructions and all the sections. If there's a video, you're going to watch the video. And then I've provided you with data that you can pretend you gathered doing that video or doing that experiment that you saw in the video. Your job is to take these sample data that I give you and to finish them, to answer the questions, to work up the data and convert things into decimals if it needs to be, or to find the percent errors, or to answer the questions or complete the calculations. Those are your tasks. I'm only going to give you the data. When you submit this assignment, you're going to submit everything that had questions on it, all the pages that had you writing stuff. When you are done with that, and after I've given you credit for it, I will then upload the answer key. And so it'll be more than just those 2 pages that I had data on. It'll be the post-lab questions, it'll be the pre-lab questions, and it'll be full of the correct answers for you guys to look at. Let's look at the next lab, density of a substance. Now, density of a substance, you'll notice for the first week, all of the labs are already posted with their sample datas. I plan on doing this for all the 6 weeks. So if you are the type of person who wants to go and get all of your lab data done, all of your lab work done in the first week or 2, do it. It'll be available for you. All of the data is posted. You'll be able to come in here and turn in all your homework whenever, or all your data whenever you want. Now, this particular one also had a lab video associated with it. So let me show you what that looks like. Our lab tech, Andy, was gracious enough to actually record these videos for us. So you can thank her if you ever see her. So this is the video. It should just take you right there.
It's Andy here at College of the Sequoias, and today we are doing density. So we're going to explore the relationship between...
Yeah, and you can watch her give you that whole experiment. But she is the person that that I work with and that sets up all our labs. So she's the best person to kind of go over these videos for you. Again, I will have all of those lab videos available just as soon as I finish getting all of the, uh, the sample data posted. I think I'm into week 2. I don't have nomenclature. This is another one that we do at home, and then I don't have any labs beyond that. So that's where I am right now. I'm on lab 6, but hopefully by the end of the week you'll see that all populated. Now you'll also notice that we have quizzes, and these are set kind of throughout the 6 weeks, kind of spaced out. So we don't have a quiz on Monday. We don't have a quiz. We do have a quiz on Tuesday. So Tuesday is our first quiz. So you'll have a lecture video that you'll watch. You'll have lecture slides to follow along. You have the assignment of the chapter homework due by Saturday. You have your first lab. Oh, the labs. Notice that the due date on the lab is always the next day. So you'll have essentially 48 hours to do your lab. It'll become available to you on the 16th. Actually, it's available to you now, so you have infinite time to do all of these. But from the day it's assigned, you have till the next day, midnight the next day for it to be due. Before the day after that, I post the key. So you get credit if you do it on time. You get no credit if you don't do it on time. Now, on Tuesday the 16th, you have your first quiz. Now, quizzes, I mentioned, are going to be anywhere between 2 and 7 points. They are 1 hour, and they're in browser, multiple choice. You may need a calculator, so you'll probably want to get those. This first quiz, I think you can take it. I don't know if you can take it right now. I don't want to click on it. It may say that it's unavailable, but as far as the exams are unavailable until the certain day. The lab exams are also unavailable until that day. But if you want to take your quiz early, even before I've posted a lecture video, I mean, I guess that's on you if you already know this stuff. So quiz 2 is on Thursday. So we had quiz 1 on Tuesday. Wednesday is another lecture, slides, lab video, second lab. Thursday is our third lab video, and then our second quiz. First exam. This first week is kind of really easy material, so that's why it's kind of all jam-packed in there. Very easy material the first week, but it is reflective of the pace, and so if you can handle it and keep up with that first week's material for that first exam, which is only on the first 3 chapters, by the way, it's not on chapter 4, which we did cover that week also. You should be able to tell what everything is. First, so lab experiment 1 is experiments 1 through 5, and this one you can't access yet. I don't want you guys having too much time to work on these. You'll get to download it. The lab exams are due also the next day, so you get 48 hours on those. But I do have placeholders for all the lecture videos. I haven't finished putting in all the lecture slides. So by the end of today, by the end of this week, all of the lecture slides will be in all the way through week 6, and all of the lab data will be in with the lab videos. And then after that, it's basically just you guys studying, you guys staying on top of the homework, and me giving you guys videos. I'll probably post review videos. So after everyone takes the exam, I will look at the statistics, and then I'll go through question by question on a whiteboard and give you guys some feedback. So you can watch those if you want, or don't watch them if you don't need to, but you'll get exam feedback. Quiz feedback is a little bit different. I don't have the time really to make 12 additional quiz feedback videos, especially if they're only a few points. But in the quizzes, towards the end, I started getting really into it. If you put the wrong answer, I give you an explanation on why it was wrong. So you should get built-in feedback on the quizzes. The early quizzes don't have that because I didn't think about that. Trying to think if there's anything else. I just want to remind you guys again, you don't want to be dropped, so do that assignment. Get the math review now. Might as well start on the math review, start looking at it, and start utilizing that discussion board. All right, guys. I will see you guys in the first video. Take care.